It's always interesting how things are separated by time and space, and they seem unrelated, and yet they're the same story, even though different players, and maybe in some cases even different kinds of critters are involved. And well, kids and animals and people, they can, in the end, all mock us, I suppose. But this is a little story about, in that vein, I suppose. Um, Went a long time ago over in Eastern Oregon in a place called Pendleton, where they have a big rodeo there. I was working for a farmer, and we were driving along in this old Chevy pickup, going up this old dusty track that was part of the old Oregon Trail, actually. And before that, before the pioneers, even the Native Americans had used it to uh, get their way to the Columbia River. And so it's a road that's been there forever and ever and ever, I guess. And as we were driving up, we were hot and tired and burned out and just wore out. We'd been burning tumbleweeds for miles and miles and miles along the never-ending fence lines that in the wheat stubble in the brown ocean that is fallow fields in eastern Oregon. And we were pretty done in, and we were heading up to the rancher's home place and house. And as we were going up the road, um, as we were going over this old bridge, there was what they call a murder of crows, a flock of crows. And we stopped, and the rancher rolled down his window, and he grabbed a 22 rifle, and he shot one of the crows. And the crows, they didn't take off, they didn't fly. They just stood there and cawed at us, and they kind of hopped around, and then they just kind of studied us and looked at us. And the rancher put the rifle back up in the rack, and he turned to me. He says, "I hate crows, and you can shoot any crow here on the place whenever you see one." And we drove up back up to the ranch house, and I never did shoot any of those crows because I never saw any reason to shoot any of those crows because they weren't doing any harm. They were sitting out in a in a stubble field, basically a pile of worn out dirt, and they were just doing what crows do. And I mean, what harm were they doing? And but the funny thing is, all those crows, they remembered that, and the rest of that year, that rest of that summer, those crows, they would sit there and crow at us and caw at us and mock us and dive our pickup every day as we went out to the fields or came back from the fields. They never forgot, and they mocked us. I guess forever. And if I went back, I guess they'd still mock us. And I don't know what to say, but that still happens. Uh, when I teach kids, I tell kids to use kind words and do the right thing. And matter of fact, I did a big presentation for the school not too long ago about using kind words. And after a long day of teaching, after that little presentation, that little video got played for the whole school, um, I'd worked hard, and my room was hot, and it was a tough day. And I had some kids in my last period class. They were talking and talking and talking and talking, and I asked them to be quiet, and they kept on talking, and I told them to be quiet, and they kept on talking. And finally, I just said, "Will you please just shut up?" Well, the kid just looked at me that I asked to please just shut up. Uh, he says, "Those aren't your kind words, are they, Mr. McCauley?" So the crows still mock us. And when your words and your deeds don't match up, they'll continue to mock you. And that's why it's very important to always make sure your words and deeds match up.